Hey yo, what's poppin' guys? It's your boy Fizzle the Hizzle, aka Benner. Pretty guys, NCL Week 4 battle against Jay and the UNC Dash Wingles. He's a pretty good battler. He's been having a pretty good season so far. At this point, I think he's around 2-1, 3-0. So he's having one hell of a season right now. And he's been playing really well. He has a really scary team, a good mix of both bulk and offense, which I really like. He has terrifying breakers and setup sweepers, which is just terrifying in general, and it was really hard to prep for. But yeah, I'm looking to have a good game here against Jay and pick up our 4th win in a row and try to be first in the league because I don't want to be tied for first. I want to be first, you know? But yeah, in the past he's drafted some very interesting teams. He's drafted like a theme team every year, except this season it's actually a good theme team. Last season's was very interesting. I don't know if you saw that battle or not, but his drafts it was very interesting. His fastest Pokemon was like a Haxorus, which is not a very good call. But actually this season he has a pretty good team, man, and it's very scary. But yeah, man, if you haven't seen the team builder, definitely go check it out. I let you guys know what I'm bringing, why I'm bringing it, and I go over the sets, calc, stuff like that. So definitely go check it out. It's on my channel, of course. But yeah, man, looking at his team right now, he has no defoggers except for the Scizor, which is really good because that tells me that if he does have defog on Scizor, I expect him to be like more utility based, something with like defog, roost, maybe even like, I don't know, yeah, like defog, roost, stuff like that. Very bulky set, so not really a sweeper or a breaker because he has 3 phenomenal breakers on his team. So I don't know if he wants to add a 4th. I don't see what that provides him with, but that's fine because I can just lead with my Garchomp here and just get up rocks immediately, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And his only other rocker is a Nidoking and the Tyrantrum, which Tyrantrum's not going to have rocks, like, ever. And if he wants to get up rocks with Nidoking, that's fine by me. We trade rocks, and I'm a Yache Berry, so I can take every Ice Beam this thing ever wants to go for. And you can see that it does, like, nothing. So I just go for my Earthquake to pressure it out as he reveals a Shuca Berry, and he kills me with the Ice Beam. And I'm perfectly fine with this exchange, because that lets us so that he doesn't get rocks on my side of the field, and I get rocks on his side of the field. Which is perfectly fine by me. Chomp did his job already. Unfortunately, it cannot break things like the Nidoking, Tyrantrum, and Fernape anymore, and the Vaporeon. So that really sucks, but you know what? Chomp did his job. He got rocks up with the Yache Berry, took a hit. So that's fine by me. And he reveals a Shuca, which is really good prep on his end. And I'm glad I procced that thing before Aerodactyl did, because that would have been not very good. But either way, that's why I have Unnerve on Aerodactyl for Shuca Berries and Charty Berries, stuff like that. As he goes into his Vaporeon, and I get really good information on his Vaporeon because he switches this in, and he reveals to be max HP and max Def, and I did not want him to wish back up the Nidoking to full because that thing is a big threat. So I taunt him, prevent him from getting up a wish. As he goes for the Icy Wind, so very interesting tech. And right now, I expect him to have, like, Wish. He obviously showed Wish. Icy Wind, Scald, and I don't know what his 4th move is. It could be Protect or Heal Bell. And as he does go for the Toxic, and I just fire it back with a Fire Blast. So I was fine with staying in here because U-Turn does only around 50% if he was that utility-based set, which he did reveal to be with Toxic. Maybe he wasn't, but I figured he would be, like, a utility-based set like that. And I do hit my Fire Blast, which is incredible. And even if he U-turns, like, what does he even U-turn into a Scald? Like, Vaporeon can't touch me. I Toxic it. I get a really good chip on it. So I was fine with making that play for sure. And as he does go down to the Scizor, to the Slowking, so Daru already KOing that. As he goes into his Nidoking, probably trying to sack it off and get rocks up, which is exactly what he does. I can live with Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, whatever he wants to go for. So Daru getting 2 kills in a row, which is great for me because his 2 biggest great offensive threats are gone already, especially the Nidoking. I have no switching to that. And right here, this turn, he reveals to be not Banded, but Choice Scarfed. This damage is definitely Choice Scarfed, and that's exactly what I thought it was going to be with this damage, because we don't see Life Orb at all, so he's definitely Choice Scarfed in my opinion to catch my Aerodactyl and Sun Team off guard. But yeah, we can see we just chew that Earthquake. We take like 30% net damage, which is insane because it's a Tyrantrum, you know. But right here, I get a free Toxic in the world, or the freest Toxic in the world, as Cresselia gets Toxic, which is phenomenal for me because Aerodactyl can just outstall this thing, Roost, Home Claws all over this thing. So getting this whittled down and putting it on a timer, excuse me, with the Toxic is going to be really good for me. So that's going to be phenomenal. As I do get some more lefties shift. And right now I go for the Roar so I can pivot around it, but I do get frozen. and also prevent setup on his end, which really sucks because I no longer have a check to the Tyrantrum in the back, as he just goes straight into the Tyrantrum. A pretty good double on his end, and again, at this point, I was definitely fearing to Scarf Tyrantrum, which was very not fun to deal with. So he doubles back into his Vaporeon, and that tells me, like, oh yeah, he's definitely a choice Scarfed. And, like, for sure, like, a person playing like that with the Tyrantrum, he's probably a choice Scarfed, but I stack off my Gluttony, because this is the only thing I have to check it, because he has to go for Earthquake, right, if he's choice Scarfed, and I can just go into my Aerodactyl, and then I can just, like, you know, bob something with Z, Stone Edge, or set up, maybe. But I do end up going to my Slowking, as he does get the Wish off, but he doesn't really pass into anything else. As I go back into my Gengar, maybe going into Cresselia, catching this thing off guard, and he could have Heal Bell at this point, but he reveals a Protect, which is so good for me, because if he had Heal Bell, things that like Cresselia and Vaporeon that are toxic in the future, maybe, they're not going to get rid of that toxic. So revealing Protect was phenomenal for me, and it shows that I can just whittle those two down with ease. As we go back to my Slowking to do just that, and throw off a Toxic. That was incredibly hard to say, apparently. As he goes for the Protect, trying to get some more chip on me, which is definitely a fair play. And again, my play is just to go for the Toxic right here to get him whittled down. As I do miss a Toxic, which really sucks. I get frozen and miss a Toxic, which isn't the biggest deal in the world. But the only thing that comes out of it is he gets more free chip damage on me, as I do get off my own Toxic, which is fine by me. And at this point, yeah, I need to keep this thing around, because I need this thing to serve as a check to the Infernape, which could be like, I don't know, Life Orb or something at this point, which is definitely not fun. But I go back into my Houndoom, because this is the most expendable thing on this team right now, right? Because I don't need to break Cresselia at all. I already have Toxic Chip on it, so I don't need to Pursuit Trap it for more chip. And I can kill Cresselia with Gengar just as easily. So I can sack this thing off, and at this point, I'm just going to go for the Dark Pulse here. Just to get some damage off of it if it's not Scarfed. But he does reveal to me not Choice Scarfed, as he just goes for the Earthquake. And this was terrifying, because like Dark Pulse did like what, 65% minimum, something like that, and he was at like 63, so I got like the lowest roll possible on this thing. So if he like D-danced at any point right there, because I didn't flinch either, because if he D-danced right there, I just lost a game. My Steelix is frozen, and my Slowking is chipped to the point where it can't check anything from Tyrantrum, like a +1 Tyrantrum. I just lost a game, and he won 4-0. But thank God he went for Earthquake. That was a really big, I don't want to say it was a misplay, because the Calcs deceived me, man. It did like 63% minimum, and he was at like 63 or whatever it was. So, that was crazy. I could have lost a game right there. But he ends up going for the Earthquake, which is more than fine by me. So I just go into my Aerodactyl, get a free Earthquake off. If he goes into Cresselia, I can sell that thing out. And he just lets his Tyrantrum go down, as it does go down to rocks, since he has no Defogger. So that was good for him. I go for my Receiver to try to get him more, Toxic Chip off on this thing. And the best thing you can do to me is like Toxic, or I don't know, like Ice Beam. As you can see, I get rid of my Flying typing with Roost, so that's fine by me. As he does go into the Vaporeon, which is perfectly fine by me, because he reveals to be max HP, max Def, and he just drops to the Continental Crush. Aerodactyl just obliterating the Vaporeon right there, as he has no more counterplay to my Gengar, which is phenomenal, and I really like that a lot. And yeah, like even like if he was max HP, max defense, this thing did like 80% minimum to that. So either way, I was fine with letting it rip right there, because if he protected, I can just Stone Edge it back, as he does. Right, go for the Home Claws here, because he's forced to go for a recovery move right here, and at this point I can just two-shot it, not having to worry about misses, and see Stone Edge, or regular Stone Edge firing off, as he does reveal the Thunder Wave. So that's pretty good tech on his end for my Sun team. But you can see as Ice Beam never two-shot, so I was fine with just Stone Edging again. And at this point, I think this Infernape is Scarfed, and he just kills me with an HP Ice, it looks like, or an HP Water, whatever it was, probably Ice. So yeah, he goes for that, and I go into my Gengar, because if he's Scarfed, I do live in HP Ice, and if he's not Scarfed, then I just go Psychic, as you see there, and he was not Scarfed. So Katie finishing off the battle. So very good game to my man Jay. He played pretty well, and the Vaporeon and the Tyrantrum was very tough to deal with. But we ended up picking out the W. Spyro putting in tremendous amounts of work, getting 3 kills here, killing the Tyrantrum, the Cresselia, and Vaporeon. So really just breaking his defenses, which is exactly what Aerodactyl did for me. It was a really good way to punch holes in his team for Gengar later, and just to even be a win con later. So that's really good for me, and really happy with the way I played. We are moving to 4-0 right now. We are either tied for first or first in the league. I believe Jed is 3-0 right now, so I'm tired of being tied for first in the league. I want to be first in the league. Next week, we are going up against Ian, coach of your Lavender Lantern, and it's going to be a good game because he's easily one of the best battlers in this entire league. So I'm really looking forward to playing him. I did beat him both times last season, but that doesn't mean anything because he's a phenomenal battler. He has a really scary team, and I'm really looking forward to prepping for that and having a good one for sure. But yeah, man, your Tampa Bay Breezels are moving up to first in the league. And yeah, man, thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me. And like always, have a swell day. Peace.